Welcome to Conversations in Higher Education Technology. I'm Jeff Martinez from Rackspace Technology, and we are at EDUCAUSE 2025 here in Nashville, Tennessee. I've got my great friend, Dr. Vanessa Keenan today, UT San Antonio, and she's going to join me in a conversation that matters. Things about trust, things about streaming the process, and things about technology that matters to students and faculty all over the higher education institutions. Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm doing great, and it's so glad we're here together again at EDUCAUSE this year.
Yes. I am always excited to see you, and a lot of times we see each other in the airport, and this is no different.
No.
Going to all the right places, have all the right conversations, and so wow, EDUCAUSE 2025. A lot of people here today.
For sure. I mean, it's amazing. EDUCAUSE is always fantastic every year, and it's always exciting to come back because the technology changes, the people change. I mean, it's just across the board a great place to be.
I agree. So tell me a little bit about your role here at EDUCAUSE, not just at UTSA, but here at EDUCAUSE.
You bet. So I serve for UTSA. I serve as actually the EDUCAUSE Ambassador for our university. And that ambassador makes sure that people know about EDUCAUSE, know about the fact that they have that opportunity to be a part of what goes on with EDUCAUSE. Look at the research. We have folks not just in the IT department, but across the university in academic technology, our library. The first year I came, I was surprised to see the head of our library was here, along with the person who does education with the library. So we don't think about libraries for the technology that they do. We always think about books, but that has changed so very, very much. So it's not just an IT conference. There's so much going on for that. So last year, I was actually the chair for EDUCAUSE in San Antonio, the program chair. So this year, I'm the previous chair. So I'm working with quite a few things that are going on, including the project that EDUCAUSE has going on right now that's so important for partnerships. That partnership program ties together our vendor partners along with our academic institutions to make sure we're doing the best job to collaborate.
I loved it. Well, no mariachi music this time, like we did in San Antonio, but a lot of good country music and a lot of great food here in Nashville.
It is fantastic. The food is good. The country music is good.
Right.
I mean, it has just been fantastic.
Yeah, Nashville, one of my favorite places.
It is.
Well, so EDUCAUSE always does a great job of prioritizing and talking about what's important and providing everyone that attends the top 10. And so everybody's excited to hear about the top 10. And so one of the things that I want to do is kind of go down a few of those items that I think will resonate with your role at UTSA, your role here at EDUCAUSE, and really your overall experience in higher education. If that's okay with you.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, great. Well, number 3, I really want to hit on number 3 of the top 10 of EDUCAUSE 2025. And it's really about smoothing the student journey. And what EDUCAUSE provides in regards to a definition or what that really means or translates to is using technology and data to improve the student's personalized presence and the services provided to the student. So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on smoothing the student journey and really being able to utilize that technology and data from a student perspective. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I can think of a couple of things. And it's really interesting because I graduated from UTSA. I'm an alumni, and I finished my doctorate degree there, and I finished it in the College of Education. So one of the things I can think about is one of the largest school districts in San Antonio. We train the majority of the teachers for that school district. It is so important that our teachers go out, and we learned that especially during the COVID time when everything flipped to all online. The instructors, the teachers have got to be trained in the best technology. So one of the ways I can think of, especially working from an IT department perspective, was making sure that they had all the things they needed with the Google Suite. Even though we're a Microsoft campus, if you stop and think about it, the teachers and the students in most school districts across the country are using the Google Suite.
Right.
So you have to have those kind of partnerships. And so that's one of the places I can think about where I participated and helped our department to say, hey, this is something we really, really need if you're working with folks out there. Since I have community engagement in my title and in the work that I do, I'm also serving on committees for one of the school districts, actually 2 of the school districts in San Antonio. So we bring those students come in, they come to our campus. So as a part of that, we have to train those teachers well that are going out. And in order to do that, that means we had to set up a special session and a special, protocol for those teachers that have to have that Google Suite so that they can have everything they need to learn and do their jobs. And that should be a nice, smooth process.
Right.
Another one I think about is what we brought in with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation grant we had quite a few years ago. And that was called DegreeWorks. So our CIO at the time and myself sat down and we were like, we don't understand. Why is it hard to get students registered, to get them in the right classes, to make sure that they're on the right degree paths? We did not have a degree planning tool. So we brought in DegreeWorks, which is a part of Ellucian, which is also a part of some of the other things that we do at UTSA with IT and students. That program helped the students to be a little bit more self-directed. To that point in time, students would have to go sit outside an advisor's office, wait to talk to them, look at their schedule it all down. I remember waiting about an hour before we had this type of tool to see an advisor before you can go to the next portion. With DegreeWorks, the students are able to look at their degree plans to see how far they are, to be able to look at the potential possibility to also have a second degree or a minor. They may be taking classes and not realize, hey, the program will tell them, you're so many steps here, so many courses away from getting a minor. Would you like to do that and put yourself in for that?
I love that.
Or would you like to get a second degree? Why not? It may take you maybe one more semester here to get an additional degree, but now you're a double major. And the students are getting an opportunity to make those kind of decisions. Nice, smooth, and self-directed.
Yeah.
Our students are quite often ahead of what we are on thinking. This really allows them to move along the way.
And I love that because it's fueled with technology and utilizing the data that already exists.
Exactly.
I remember being that student sitting outside the advisor's office and just trying to figure out, okay, just give me my core classes, give me the curriculum, I'm going to go finish that, not knowing that it might have been, like you said, one class, one semester away from a second degree or something, or a minor.
Exactly.
And so I love that. Now, let me ask you a question on smoothing the student journey through technology and data. Has that become a differentiator between different institutions?
It's possible. I will say this, and we have quite a few institutions at the University of Texas Systems. There are some programs that we have that maybe another sister institution may not have. And so the good thing is sharing and talking about things. And I'll throw this one out real quickly, is ServiceNow University. We were the only ServiceNow University campus in our system. And folks start to look at that and they say, hey, this is a good program for our students to get badging, certifications, no cost. They can do internships. The great part is the folks at our UT system saw this. They started to send their students through our program. They realized, hey, this will be a little bit better if we can have this at other institutions. So now we have a ServiceNow University at UT system.
I love that.
As well. Working with each other, helping each other out. One of the things I loved is our CIO of the UT system had me to step in and meet with, in his meeting that he has with all of the CIOs, and talk about what we're doing with our Bold Careers program. And quite a few of the institutions then turned around and did separate meetings with me. And now they're running their own programs for students, where students can work in a department, but not just work in a department, feel like they're in a real job. They're not doing the menial work. They're not just answering phones on a help desk.
Right.
They're doing some serious work with artificial intelligence, working in some of the security operations systems, working with data management. I mean, just as if you are a regular employee of the university.
So it sounds like smoothing the student journey really takes a village, if you will, and it's better doing it together, if you will.
Definitely so. And the good thing about that, too, is in a lot of cases, people may go outside of the IT department to ask for help with certain things, but it's always going to turn back around. So it's really nice to have that kind of situation and have that kind of program. And that person that's working with the community engagement side of it, you asked me about the role with EDUCAUSE,
right,
in doing those kind of things for that IT department. That's a true way of providing that smoothness when needed and the community engagement, both internal and external of the university.
Well, I love that response, and thanks for sharing. That really kind of falls right into EDUCAUSE 2025's top 10, number 8, which is putting people first. And it sounds like that is kind of part of that. But in this case, we're talking about how to help the staff adapt, upskill, and thrive in the midst of in an era of rapid change and innovation. What are your thoughts around, when a faculty member has been there for so long, or they're brand new, it doesn't really matter, but they still have to adapt. They still have to upskill. They still need to stay And that's, relevant in technology and be able to relate with students. What are your thoughts around that?
I love that EDUCAUSE put that at the forefront because everybody knows, and I don't care if you're in higher ed or if you're in private industry, normally when funds are tight, and everybody knows funding is tight right now. When funds are tight, some of the first things that get cut is the training, travel, those particular areas. So you have to step up and get very, very creative in some of the things that you're doing. So the neat thing for us is we have wonderful partners, wonderful IT partners. The big thing right now, of course, everybody's talking about is artificial intelligence.
Right.
So how do you get beyond that? How do you train those faculty members? How do you train those staff members? How do you get this stuff done? And I believe that the partnerships are so important. And I'm going to use you guys at Rackspace as a good example. You guys have come in. I do believe we are on our second or third lunch and learn, where you guys come in, you talk to our faculty, staff, and students about artificial intelligence. What are some of the things that you're doing with artificial intelligence? And not just there on campus, but even have some of our students in classes and courses and professors out to your facility and spend the time with them. And I think we need to do more of that in higher education. And I do believe that this is what EDUCAUSE is really trying to push and promote with their partnership program with universities and our vendor partners, is trying to have more of those kind of things. We just set that up through us talking and saying, hey, we'd love to have you on campus. I thought one of the most wonderful things for me, and my CIO reached out to me, was when our provost saw what we had done, what you guys had done to come in, to meet with our folks and meet with our community and say, hey, this is fantastic. We're getting this training on artificial intelligence. And then it goes from one faculty member, it goes down to your staff. Here's the creativity and innovation we need to be doing with our students. So we thank you guys because you have been a wonderful partner for helping us with that.
We appreciate you guys hosting us and allowing to be part of your ecosystem, to be honest with you. I will be transparent in saying that those sessions have been a two-way street. It gives us an opportunity to hear the students, to hear the faculty, to understand where the gaps are, maybe in knowledge or acumen with whatever technology. Hosting at our headquarters and having your MBA students come over and talk about, real live scenarios, and really having profound conversations that help, I think, both sides of the table, right? And so it's been a great partnership with UTSA. Rackspace definitely appreciates that. So that initiative is really part of our better together. And I think that's really worked out well for us.
And I think people don't realize when you talk about this and you talk about sharing data, sharing conversations, that's how artificial intelligence is built. I mean, you've got to have that data. You're constantly building data to make it better and to get better.
It's only as good as the data that it receives. So yeah, absolutely right. Well, I want to continue on the top 10 journey of conversation a little bit. There's a couple of them that I really thought were really, part of our conversation I want to share. One, my favorite, building bridges, not walls, right? And so I love that. And I love it's number 10. And actually this year there was a tie for number 10. So there's two number 10s, right, for EDUCAUSE. But this one here is talking about increasing digital access for students while safeguarding privacy, right? So the students, as you know, even my own children, are so used to having access and the speed to which they can get to where they're going, whether it's social media, whether it's research, whether it's doing homework, whatever it is, right? They're just used to that. So when you think about building bridges, not walls, and to increase the digital access for students, what comes to mind? What are the things that are really out front for you?
So I love this. We have a actual, how shall I call it? We don't call it a committee. We call it a console. We have a tech student console. And a lot of the students are all both career students. There are Student Government Association. They're a part of it. So the big part is communication. Opening up for that student voice, allowing the students to help you to build those bridges because they come in, they tell us the things that we're missing. That's very similar to what they do when they come to visit you. They tell us the places, hey, there's a place in the library over there. Well, maybe we don't have the best wireless access. What can we do about fixing that? And then we're able to go out and be able to do that with them and not just say, oh, well, this is the best you're going to get in this particular area. We never take that approach. The approach is always getting that feedback from the students, finding out more from them about what their needs are, and building those bridges with our Student Government Association, building those bridges with our students at all levels. We talked about DegreeWorks. At one time, when we started that project with the Gates Foundation, our graduate students didn't have access to that.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it was just an undergraduate program. So one day they reached out and said, hey, when are we going to get DegreeWorks for the graduate school? Can we get that for there? And I'm like, of course, sure. We're more than happy. And we know Lucian will be happy to have you all on board.
Right.
So that's building the bridges when the students are asking for things, not saying no and not saying, okay, we'll look at this down the line, but trying to get it done and get it done as quickly as possible, because you're right. Students today, they want it now. They're used to getting things very, very quickly at home. So when they come to our campus, a lot of times universities will prepare, oh, well, let's make sure that our access points and things are for a student, for this many students in this many areas. But the students coming into your access point, they may have 3 or 4 devices on them. They may have a phone. They may have a laptop.
Right.
They usually will have at least those 2 things. But now we have gaming devices as well, too. So you never know what they're going to bring on top of that
Right.
to the campus. So
Well,
you have to prepare.
And building those bridges, not walls, also includes the security that's required to protect their data, their information, and the institution's environment, right?
Definitely. And that's when that training comes in as well. So we work with our chief information security officers. And so there's times when we get together and say, hey, the students need to go through these types of training. What can we do for that? What can we do to teach them about phishing campaigns so they're not getting their stuff hacked? So, these are the different types of things of helping those students out as well, to help them to be smart about their data too. Where are you going? What are you looking at? Policies are out there, but
Right.
unless it's an in-your-face thing. And I love, at one year, we gave out T-shirts to the students that said, don't get caught phishing, go get caught phishing. And it was really kind of cool to see all the students walking around, and the questions came up, what is that all about? So that education part of it is so important, of getting them trained about their data.
How is the urgency around the campuses that you've been at, and UT Systems, and you travel quite a bit.
Yep.
So what's the urgency like, knowing that some of these students, and maybe the most of them, are coming in with AI acumen already? They're used to using the technology, right? So tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, that's a good discussion, because you can't, it's a situation where, and I had to change my mindset as well, because I'm working with students who are publishing. So I'm looking at their work coming in, interns, I have interns. So they're coming in, they're publishing with the same companies that their professors are publishing with, right? So they're going through a stringent check to make sure everything is the way it needs to be. And you get the first paper and it's like, my coordinators are like, this is all AI digitally put together. So we're like, nope, we need you to go back. And so I had to get to a point of saying, not necessarily, once again, not building those bridges. Hey, we're going to use AI, but we're going to use it very, very responsibly. Great that you were able to find this information, but I needed to come back to me in your own voice.
Yeah.
With resources to support what it is you're saying, that is cited correctly in the whole work. That way you're encouraging them to use it, and encouraging them to use artificial intelligence to write things more properly. So that way it's a big help. Before we drop it and turn it in, I saw turn it in here and a couple of other places where we check stuff. So all of that is so important for the students, and that they have that opportunity to actually use artificial intelligence in a correct way.
Yeah.
Innovative, but also correct.
I love that. Yeah, I've thought about those challenges, and in trying to keep up with the student body.
Yes.
Must be tough.
Yes. I really had to change my whole mindset to, no, you can't use it for my projects and works, to, yes, you can use it, but you need to do it responsibly, ethically, and you need to cite everything properly.
The rules are the rules.
Yep, that's right.
So the last one, the tiebreaker for number 10 in the top 10 for EDUCAUSE this year: supportable, sustainable, and affordable. There's a lot there, right?
Yes, it is.
And so their description is developing an institutional strategy for new technology, investments, pilots, policies. There's a lot there. Have you had any time to really unpack any of that? Supportable, sustainable, and affordable?
Yes. And I do believe what happens is, a lot of times you'll have either a department or a group, somebody will get a grant for something. And without looking at whether or not, okay, when this grant is up or this time frame is up, is this going to be, do we have the staff to support it? Do we have the money to sustain it once the 2-year grant or 3-year grant money goes out? What are you going to do after that time frame? Have you put in your budgets to be able to do that? That's what they're looking at, because it happens a whole lot. I've even seen it at our institution. It's like, okay, are we going to keep this? Do we have another tool that does just exactly that? That's a big part of what they're talking about. And in pilots, I mean, I talked a little bit about ServiceNow. We've done a couple of pilots with ServiceNow that have been really, really successful, including going through and having our students to pilot a module for them on cybersecurity. They did not have that in their ServiceNow University. So we piloted that, and it ran very, very well. Now it's being used across universities across the country. So I always tell our students, and that came because Dr. Kaufman, one of our professors, said, this is great that you're putting my students to this, but I don't see any cybersecurity in this. And as a part of what we do as one of the top cybersecurity universities,
Right.
we have to have more in there. So we were able to send those students through our Cyber Range lab as a part of their work at that time. But in the meantime, while they were doing the Cyber Range lab through Cymani, which is an organization that's also on our campus, we also took the time to work with ServiceNow. They built out that module. Our students piloted, and now it's out there for everybody to use. And so it's been a good relationship, and I think that's what they're talking about.
That's a great example of why UTSA has been such a prominent force in the cybersecurity realm.
Oh, yeah.
Across the U.S. and probably even further than that. But yes, they have a strong presence. I love that. Last question I have is the takeaway. Every year we come to EDUCAUSE and everybody loves it. It's where higher education professionals are teaming and collaborating and networking with each other and with IT professionals and partner vendors from all over, right? So walking away from Nashville, what is your hope that you want attendees at EDUCAUSE 2025 to walk away with?
One of the things I've learned, I've been coming to EDUCAUSE for about 14 years now. And one of the things I learned, I can sit down, write things, put things together, and then you forget to go back, or you go back to work and it's like, oh my goodness, I have 500 emails now I have to respond to. So one of the things, be actionable. That's one of the things on all the people that you're meeting, all the different vendor partners you're meeting, all the different sessions. Take that action right then and now. One of the things I started doing a couple of years back is sending messages to my team on Teams immediately. If I'm sitting in a session, like I know there's 2 things today I need to go and send out. I have 2 questions. So I need to send that out, whether it's to my personal team or to my IT team. Hey, what are we doing in this particular area? I heard this today. I think we should do this in order to make this happen. I was in a session with CDW earlier.
Right.
And in that session, several things hit me that, oh, we need to do this. We need to do that. And it was great to sit down and talk to those partners to know there's some things that we need to do on this end. How are we taking care of this? So do it right then and there. Don't wait, because if you do, it may go to wayside. And so what I usually will do is send messages in Teams to, whether it's internal to my teams or with my whole IT team, to say, hey, this is something we need to look at and we need to discuss when I get back. And they're getting those messages. So in the last 2 years, they've started to expect that, okay,
Right.
Vanessa's at EDUCAUSE. We're going to get some things to look at. Otherwise, it'll sit in your tablet.
Yeah, I mean, so EDUCAUSE always provides innovation, conversations, network, thought-provoking sessions where you just sit there and you think, because you're unplugged a little bit from your day-to-day.
Right.
But you're saying, take advantage of the moment.
Take advantage of that moment.
Being in the moment.
You bet.
Be actionable.
Like I'm going to a core data session. I'm in charge of core data. That's another role as being the EDUCAUSE person, where we collect all of this data on everything, staffing, money, the whole works. That data is shared throughout our university system. So a lot of times they're looking at, hey, how much money are we spending here? So you don't have to go to us for a different report. Our UT system group can actually go to the core data from EDUCAUSE and go in and make those comparisons to see, hey, are we giving enough money here? Is UT Arlington getting enough money for this? Rio Grande Valley or some of the other groups,
Right.
What does it look like side by side? Lots of good opportunities.
I love it. Well, Dr. Keenan, as always, I appreciate our friendship and I appreciate our partnership with UTSA.
We love it.
I really appreciate you spending time with me today. We're in Nashville, Tennessee at EDUCAUSE 2025, and I want to thank my guest, Dr. Keenan from UTSA. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.